Okay? We're on page 64. I want to get back to the middle of the paragraph. Over here on page 64, the fourth paragraph. He's explaining that in the Kriya Shema, we're going from one level to another. So he says we have to be involved with our physicality, with our power of speech. This is Shinantum Levonecho. And then it says, regardless of where you are, whether you're traveling, you're at home, wherever you are, you have to continuously be engaged in Torah study. It should not be denied from the heart and from the tongue what you're obligated. There's certain mitzvahs where you could engage in 24 hours a day. Avas Hashem, something in the heart. You think about it, you have Avas Hashem. Zochus Yom Shabbos L'Kachu, the God's the creator. Right? It's the mitzvah. Zochus Yom Shabbos L'Kachu, the God created the world. That's a 24-hour mitzvah. That's continuous throughout your life. You don't have to do an act. That's Chovos HaLevavos. That has to do with one's belief, one's mind, and one's feeling. Over here, other things, tefillin, any other tzitzis, whatever, you have to be involved with an object. Here, although it's a belief and it's a feeling, but you have to express it. You have to express it. So the heart and the tongue have to be engaged in Torah continuously. For what reason? This is the point I want to. This is all to bring about what we said previously in the Kriya Shema. How do you have a continuous sense of levavecha? Like it says, Vashevos at levavecha. You should take it to heart. What does it mean, take it to heart? Take it to heart means it becomes a reality. You take something which is conceptual, abstract, and it becomes a reality. Shetia regilus l'shonubem tomid mevei lidei zichron halev. Because of your continuous involvement in regilus. How does he explain the word regilus? How does he? Continuity. Okay? Regilus doesn't mean continuity. Regilus means continually. That will bring Lidi Zichron Alev. It's interesting. What do we say? Targileinu b'sorasecha. Right? We have the bracha. What do we say? Targileinu. You ever think about it? So the way I always understood it without this, to get yourself going is not so simple. We say kol hascholos koshos. It should be targilenu. We should be used to it. We should almost do it reflexively. That's the regilus. We should do it reflexively. It should be effortlessly, without effort. That's the way we should study the Torah. Whenever we engage in anything, what does a person procrastinate? You don't procrastinate regarding anything that you really want, right? You don't put it off. You do it. But something which you don't do naturally, regilus means naturally. Torah should come to us naturally. So if it's natural, there's no what? There's no inertia. You don't have to overcome anything to bring it about. So that's the tefillah. The Torah should come to us naturally. That's what we're asking. But what's the understanding? He says, why are we asking? Why is it so important that you should study Torah? It should come naturally. Because the zichron halev, the feeling in the heart and the emotion and the mind is only activated to have this sense of obligation only if you study Torah. It's only through that verbal expression do you have that activates, and that causes the heart to internalize the belief. V'lo yifana levavo b'zecher elokim tamid. What he's saying? And as a result of this, the heart will not be vacant from continuously remembering God. So what is the key to remembering Hashem continuously? The continuous studying of Torah. That causes the person to continuously remember. Remember doesn't mean just in your mind. It means that God is a continual reality. Said Dom Hashem Adovan al-Qul Shivisi Hashem Negdi Tomid. I have placed God always before me. Why is God always before me? Now we're able to understand it. It says Yisrael v'Rais Kutshu B'Chuchatu. It's interesting. The Mishnah Berurah cites, brings it, I think, in the name of the Zohar, that when a person wakes up in the morning, even before you open your eyes, you should visualize in your mind Yud Kei Vav Kei in its letters, not Kuf, Yud Kei Vav Kei, and you should even visualize the vowels, which is Shvor, Cholam, Komatz. You should even visualize that. Those are the vowels of Yud Kei Vav Kei. And he says it's a segula for Yerushalayim. He says the way it's cited in the Svarim, that's what, before you open your eyes in the morning, that's the first thing you should visualize. That's the first thing that comes to mind, Yud Kei Vav Kei. And it impacts on Yerushalayim. So the Torah, because of, now, what is the Torah? The Torah, according to Ramban, its introduction, is what? Is all Shemus Hashem. It's all the names of Hashem. It's just the conjugation of the letters. So when you study the concepts, you study Torah, what are you actually engaging in? You're engaging, that is God. Right? When we speak about the name of Hashem, there's certain names which are references, and there's certain names which it's the essence, inherent in the name. That's what has kedusha. When you say Hashem is Racham v'Chanun, a person takes an oath. The Mishnah says in Shavuos, and you say, I swear by Rachum and Chanun. You're bound by the oath. That's your Shua D'Oraisa. But when we say you swear Shakai, Svodos, these are all names they're not pronounceable names. You're not supposed to say that name in vain. What's the difference between Rachum and Chanun? You permit it, or Shalom, you permit it to say Shalom, or Rachum and Chanun. But you're not permitted to say Yud Kei Vav Kei only within a specific context. Because one is a Shem Ikar, and the other is only a reference. It's a reference to God. God is merciful, He's Chanun, He's gracious, so on and so forth. So the actual name, that is Hashem. So the Torah itself, when you study it, you're actually engaging continuously with what? With His essence. Because that's the reflection. This is Yisrael v'Raisav Kuchvu Chadu. It's really, it's Chad. So therefore, by continuously engaging Torah, this addresses the V'hoyu Advar Me'el Asher Notes Alavavecho. V'mrakosiv ki korvei lecha dover mod beficho ubevavcho lasoso. So what causes the levavcho lasoso? It's the picho. That if you engage in Torah study, which is picho, then it's belevavcho lasoso. You're not connected. You're not connected. Unless you think about that subject, you're not connected. You may know it, but you're not connected. I'll give you an example. Person invests in scotch. He studied it from A to Z, the barrel, the wood, the age, the location, the climate control, everything. Right? And he has a tremendous amount of money invested in it. This person, even though he may not discuss it, because nobody could really appreciate what he understands, but it's something his mind is consumed with, because that's where you put your money. Okay? So I'm saying a person's a physicist, and whatever it is, he's working on the project, and he's that physicist. He's consumed with this, because that's his essence. You understand? Another person is a physicist, he does his job. When he leaves his job, it's like he leaves everything behind him. Is his mind engaged in the physics? It's not. What kind of passion? How many people have, what do you, no. Fizzles out. This is like, the Chovot Chaim says that a person, it says, code vocation of Hashem. Right? The Torah itself is fire. And it says, the Mishnah says in Pirkei Avos, that you should be careful when you deal with a Talmud Chacham, Because he's what? Because you could be burnt by him. Because he's like a burning ember. He's a burning coal. So Chofetz Chaim says, regarding Hilchos Shabbos or Kashrus, you have Kli Rishon, you have Kli Sheni, you have Kli Shlishi. Now, we speak out of Kli Rishon. Why is that vessel called the first vessel? Because its level of association with the fire, right? You transfer it to a second, or you let it sit for a while, it cools down. Because what is the source of the heat? It's not in its own right, it's because of its association with something else. He says the person who's the Talmid Chacham, he has the fire in his belly. He is the fire. So, and he's always stoking that. So he is the coal. The one who associates himself with it, why is he inspired? Because it's a level of association. So if he detaches from that association, he cools down. He's going to cool down. The Talmid Chacham has the Torah itself, it's always churning within him. So because it's churning, he's always stoking that coal. So he's always hot. He's not the Kli Rishon, he's the fire. But the one who associates with the Talmid Chacham, he's a Kli Rishon. So what happens if he detaches himself? He's going to cool down. So the advice is, make sure to be close to that person, to be continuously inspired by the person who's the Talmid Chacham. No, even if you don't learn, but just being in his presence, in terms of it being a role model, what he represents, so that inspires him. That's the Kli Rishon. That's how you become a Kli Rishon. No, when you actually study, and you become truly, you have a sufficient amount of knowledge, and that you're always engaging in it, then you're the coal itself. You're the fire. But you're not supposed to detach. You're not supposed to detach. So what? You're right. There's a concept of out of sight, out of mind. It's like anything. Let me ask you a question. You're a podiatrist. How many years are you a podiatrist? Many years, okay? The moment you leave your office, unless you think about covering your bills and profits, would you think about podiatry? You're at it? Not, okay. But you've been doing it all these years. Okay. But if it's something that every person who has foot pain, it's that's your mission, so then you'd be consumed with it 24 hours a day. You couldn't sleep at night. No, see, he's not thinking about podiatry. No, there he's thinking, no. He's thinking about podiatry because that's as a means, not an end. Right? So when you think, why does a person think about Torah? No, because it's something you esteem and you revere. That's what you think about it. No, but the question is, what's your mind engaged in? So that's what he's saying. To be continued. I think it's in Torah Sabayis. You have to go through all the Kisvei Chofetz Chaim. He says endless gems, the Chofetz Chaim.
His point there is the association is important, otherwise...
No, otherwise you cool down. Because you could say they're derivatives of that. No, so therefore Torah Sheba'al Peh, that is the fire too. Torah Sheba'al Peh, that's a derivative of that. It's right. It's all connected. It's still connected to the source, because you're only engaging in the Baal Peh, because Baal Peh is the interpretation of the Chsav. No, thinking, not only psukim, thinking Torah concepts. Yeah.